Excuse me. Hi, fellow YouTubers. This is Best Boomer back with you. Thought I'd do another walk and talk. I was going to do one of my best products, and I do have a couple things in mind, but I've got some other things going on, so thought I'd do a walk and talk right after I ran. It's always a good time to do it, and I'm not having to dude up or anything. So today I'm going to talk about retirement years, making the most of your retirement. Twilight years, some people call them. I don't really like that term. Or stage of life. And this would be like your end stage of life, not dying, but your last stage. And I'm 66 and a baby boomer, obviously. This is Best Boomer. So I've been retired now 4 years. And the things that are so important before you retire, number one, I would say, this is totally unscripted, it's off the top of my head, but number one, obviously, fitness and being healthy. If there's anything that's going to bankrupt you, it's medical bills, out of your home, like nursing home care. Some things you can't control, but so much you can control. I've done some sort of exercise since before college. Back in the day when I'd put on a record, I'm a record player, that certainly dates me. And there would be exercise, musical sort of, and they describe, your moves and stuff. And I didn't actually start running until the 80s when I joined the Cedar Falls Police Department. So I've been running a long time. But between there I've done weights and different things, rowing machine. Bottom line is, even walking, they used to say it took 10,000 steps a day to be fit. Now they've dropped it to about 6,000. And that's truly more like it. And if you get a step counter, it's an easy way to keep track of it. So, like I say, that's probably the number one thing, is to be in good health. If you can, do what you can to get there. And I would start before you retire. There's always time in a day to cut out a little bit, even if it's 10 minutes at a time. And I found over the years it's much easier if I have control over the timing, such as not worrying, if gyms are open or closed, or having to go somewhere and kind of dress for the occasion. So that's number one. Number two, just to be comfortable in the fact that you have enough money to retire on, whether that be pensions. It's kind of tough to make it just on Social Security. If your house is paid off, probably, you can. And some people, their retirement years are for rest and relaxation. Other people, like to travel and might even spend more money, because they have all the time to do things. So just to be sure, to sit down and budget and figure out what you think you'll need before you retire, obviously. Third thing, decide where really you want to live, whether you want to stay in place, which that's always, good in that many times families around, friends are around. But I'm kind of a proponent to move to somewhere different just for the experience. I think, all the things that you have to learn over, such as finding your way around and finding how things are done in your location, that's all good and can be challenging. Not so much if you stay, in the same country. We had thought for a minute that maybe Costa Rica would be good because we heard its healthcare was excellent. Heard that it was inexpensive. Well, we actually visited there, and let me tell you, it's not inexpensive unless you go out and live with the natives, in their kind of housing, and it's certainly not what you're used to in America. And we stayed in San Jose, one of the bigger cities, and the costs were more than in the US, for food and such. So be wary of travel magazines touting other countries as being so great, cheaper to live in. They might be, but you're going to have to change your standard of living quite a bit. And that I certainly didn't want to do, besides the fact that, it's a long ways from your family. So I just got done reading a book. What was it? Expats Leaving the Country for Good, written by this guy. He happens to be gay and very anti-Trump. I didn't know that when I bought the book, but it's good to get different perspectives. And his hatred for the country, well, I'll take that back. His hatred for Trump was beyond rationality. There's a group of gays that actually support Trump, so I'm not attributing it all to that. But apparently he felt really oppressed and didn't like the way the country was going, and so he moved to Portugal and splits his time between Portugal and Spain. And in this book he describes what it's like. And I'm going, more power to you. You think that's a great life? Like going up, crawling up in your attic and changing your propane or whatever for your hot water. And, he lives in some little village and, but he can tell himself every day how great it is that he's away from the country. I digress here, but the annoying thing is he still claims to love his country and still wants a part in voting and all of that. And I say, the hell with you. You leave, you're gone. Cut your ties. But that's another whole story. It's good to read. You sure learn a lot. So pick your place carefully. Make sure your husband and you agree on it. Let's see. What else? Have interests outside of work if you can. I'm fortunate in that I like to bake. I like to sew. I like to create. I like to grow flowers. I like to do a myriad of things. My husband, on the other hand, was very type A work-oriented, and he has a harder time coming up with things to do. So make sure you have other interests before you retire. I think makes for a happier retirement and fuller day. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of anything else. Here's a suggestion that we just did. And it was such a good idea for this stage in our life. And I think it was Susan Orman, actually we read about this, going to one vehicle instead of two. We've always had two vehicles. Sometimes we've had three when Rick had a work car. So, and there's only two of us. So really, you really only need one vehicle. And the amount of money you save is beyond belief. Unless you have an old 15-year-old car, which I know a lot of people like to drive them into the ground, but then you have repairs. And I don't like the unexpected cost of repairs. But so have one vehicle that's in good repair, or a newer vehicle, and you will be surprised how much money it saves you, not only in a car payment, but gas and insurance and parking space. We have a 3-car garage here in Surprise, Arizona, but I gotta say, there's no way you can fit 3 cars in there. They're very small. So one car's just fine, and we have plenty of storage. So that's an idea before you retire, to cut expenses in a very easy way. So I think that's about all I can think of right now. This is just on top of my head. Like I say, I've been retired now 4 years, and I'm loving it, feeling great, making the most of my time. And so if you like my content, please like, share, And please consider subscribing. I'm trying to build up subscribers, and I know I haven't really narrowed my content down to a niche of any sort other than on Thursdays bringing you best products. But I span a wide range of products. So if you're doing a search, you might not find what you're looking for. And a lot of it is makeup and skincare. And I realize that's a, more limited audience. But like I say, consider subscribing, share this, and stay safe out there. COVID's still going on, but I wouldn't worry, too much about it. I think, I'm not thinking you need to hunker down, but that's another whole story, and I've done a couple of videos on COVID. So it's a very hot topic, and people are passionate about it. So stay safe, and I'll see you next time. This is Best Boomer. Take care, and bye-bye.